Counting rests and dots. Rests represent durations of silence. As you saw in figure, each rest, example, eighth rest, lasts as long as the note that shares its name, eighth note. Be careful when you read and write whole and half rests, which resemble each other. The half rest sits on top of the third staff line, while the whole rest hangs from the fourth line. You might think of the whole rest as heavier, forced to hang from the line, while the lighter half rest can sit on top. A whole rest may be written to indicate silence that lasts a whole measure regardless of how many beats are in that measure. In music with a half-note beat unit, such as 4/2, you may see a double whole rest or note, breve, which lasts 4 half-note beats. Finally, some scores, particularly orchestra parts where players rest for many consecutive bars, include multiple bar rests. The number above the rest tells the player how many bars to rest. The rest in part B, for example, is counted 1-2-3-4, 2-2-3-4, 3-2-3-4. When a beat begins with a rest, write the appropriate beat number in parentheses, as in this example. This helps you count the durations of silence, or accompaniment, as accurately as the pitches. A dot adds to a note half its own value, as figure shows. That is, a dotted quarter note equals a quarter plus an eighth, a dotted eighth equals an eighth plus a 16th, and so on. Dotted notes are generally paired with another note that completes a full beat or full measure. Some typical patterns are shown to the right, along with their counts in 4/4. Double dots, relatively rare, add to a note half its value plus another quarter of its value. The dot is always written on a space. If the relevant note falls on a line, the dot goes next to it on the space above, so that it can be clearly seen. Welcome to today's YouTube lesson on counting rests and dots in music notation. As a musician, it's essential to understand how to accurately interpret the symbols on a sheet of music. Rests and dots are crucial elements that contribute to the rhythm and timing of a musical piece. Rests are periods of silence in a piece of music. They are represented by various symbols, each indicating a different length of time. It's crucial to know how to count rests accurately to maintain the timing and rhythm of a piece. Dots, on the other hand, alter the length of a note. A dot added to a note increases its value by half of its original duration. Understanding how dots work is vital to playing music with precision and accuracy. In this lesson, we'll go over the different types of rests, how to count them, and how to apply dots to notes. We'll also provide examples and practice exercises to help you master these fundamental concepts. So, grab your instrument or sing along and let's dive into counting rests and dots in music notation. Counting rests and dots in music notation can seem daunting at first, but with a bit of practice, it becomes second nature. Here are some steps to follow. Identify the type of rest. Rests are represented by different symbols, each indicating a different length of time. For example, a whole rest indicates a complete measure of silence, while a quarter rest indicates a quarter of a measure of silence. Make sure you know the symbol and what it represents. Count the duration of the rest. Once you've identified the type of rest, count the number of beats or measures the rest lasts. For example, a whole rest lasts for 4 beats or 1 measure in common time. Apply the rest to the music. Now that you know how long the rest lasts, apply it to the music by counting the beats or measures of silence before the next note or chord. Remember to stay in rhythm and maintain the tempo of the piece. Identify the dotted note. Dotted notes are indicated by a dot placed to the right of the note. The dot increases the value of the note by half of its original duration. For example, a dotted quarter note is equivalent to 3/8 notes. Count the duration of the dotted note. To count a dotted note, add half of the note's original duration to the note's value. For example, a dotted half note is equivalent to 3 beats in 4/4 time. Apply the dotted note to the music. Now that you know the duration of the dotted note, apply it to the music by counting the appropriate number of beats before moving on to the next note or chord. Remember, practice makes perfect when it comes to counting rests and dots in music notation. Start by practicing simple pieces and gradually work your way up to more complex pieces. With time and practice, you'll be able to confidently read and play music with rests and dots. Thank you for watching our video about counting rests and dots. We hope that you found the information and examples helpful in your understanding of how rests and dots affect the rhythm of a piece of music. If you have any questions or would like to see more tutorials like this, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and fellow musicians. And as always, keep practicing and making beautiful music. Thank you for watching.